Good morning, guys. Today I am just going to go over some select problems from page 412 that you were assigned. And so like I said in class, I would be, if we were there together, I would say, hey guys, what problems gave you troubles? And y'all would give me some problems to do. But I just picked out a few that I think might have given you some troubles. So this is from a review assignment on page 412. I selected number 25, 10 radical 27 minus 4 radical 12. Okay, the only way you can add and subtract radicals is if they match. Now, if this was a multiply right here, you can multiply if they don't match. But to add or subtract, they have to be like radicals. They have to be like terms. So it looks like they don't match right now, but they're not simplified. They're not broken down. So I'm going to take the 27 and I'm going to break that thing down. 2 does not go in there, but 3 does. 3 goes in there 9 times. 3 goes in there 3 times. Since these are square roots, I'm looking for twins. So a 3 comes out. Now, there's already a 10 on the outside. So the 3 is going to come out there with that 10, and that makes a 30. And then what's left in here, see, remember a 3 came out, and that left a 3 in there. So there's a 3. So the 10 was already out there. A 3 came out of here, and that made 30, and a 3 got left in there. So that's where the radical 3 came from. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to break down the 12. 2 goes into 12 6 times. 2 goes into 6 3 times. Then you look for twins. A 2 comes out. There's a 4 already out there, and we're bringing out a 2. So that's an 8. This 3 stays in. Okay, now they match. We have 30 radical 3's minus 8 radical 3's. And 30 minus 8 is 22. So this is 22 radical 3's. That is how to do number 25. I picked out number... I just realized I picked out number 22. Sorry, guys, to go backwards like that. That's weird. But anyway, I picked out number 22 also. Square root of 8 divided by square root of 6. Okay. You can, since they're both in a radical, you can reduce that. And that's the same thing as radical 4 over radical 3. Because 2 goes in there 4 times and 2 goes in there 3 times. So as long as they're both in a radical, you can divide, or in this case, reduce. Now, you can't leave your fraction like that because there's a radical on the bottom and that's not allowed. So we're going to do something called rationalizing the denominator. You're going to multiply it. Hold on, my puppy is tearing up a rug right now. Delilah, stop that. Stop it. You are interrupting my video. Shh. So we're going to multiply it by itself. Multiply it by itself. So on the top you have... Ooh, I just noticed that's a 2. Anyway, you get square root of 12, which would have to be broken down, or you can break it down right here. Square root of 4 is 2. So this is 2 radical 3 on the top, and on the bottom, this is just a plain 3. Okay, that is number 22. Number 27. Number 27 is third root of 54x third minus third root of 16x third. Okay, so the cube root of x cubed, since there's triplets and we're looking for triplets, that means an x can come out. So we can just bring the x out front. And the same thing happens here. You can just bring that x out. And I would check, if you don't know your cubes, check and see, is 54 a cube? I don't think it is, but we can check. See, it's not, it's a decimal. So that means I have to break this thing down. So you take 54 and you break down 54, 2 goes into 54, 27 times. 2 does not go into 27, but 3 does. 3 goes into 27 9 times, and 3 goes into 9 3 times. So here's our breakdown of 54. This is going to bring out a 3 because they're triplets. So this is a 3. We already brought that x out. And the 2 is left in. Cube root of 2. And then we're going to do the breakdown thing with the 16. 2 goes into 16 8 times. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 2 goes into 4 2 times. It looks like that. Then you look for triplets. This is going to bring out a 2 with that x that's already out there. So this is a 2x, and that 2 gets left in. Remember, it's a cube root, so cube root of 2. Now, these match. So I can subtract them. 2x's minus 3x's, minus 2x's is 1x. So it's 1x cubed root of 2. You don't have to write that 1, but you can. Okay, number 29 was the next one I picked. 29 square root of 5 minus square root of plus square root of 11. Square root of 5 minus square root of 11. Okay, these are conjugates. They match, but there's a plus and a minus. So if you remember the shortcut, it's just the square of that one, which is 5, minus the square of that one, which is 11. So the answer is negative 6. But if you didn't happen to remember that, then you can do this the long way. Square root of 5 times square root of 5 is just 5. Square root of 5 times negative square root of 11 is negative square root of 55. Square root of 11 times square root of 5 is positive square root of 55. And a positive times a negative is a negative. And square root of 11 times square root of 11 is 11. These will cancel. 5 minus 11 is negative 6. That is number 29. Number 31. 2 plus radical 5 over radical 5. Okay, you cannot cancel those because if there's a plus in there, this is a binomial. This thing's together. So you cannot just cancel part of it. So what we're going to do is rationalize. To get rid of the radical on the bottom, we're going to multiply by itself. You do the same thing to the top. The only thing is you're going to have to distribute up here because that's a binomial. That's one quantity that's going to be multiplied by radical 5. So distributing, 2 times radical 5 is 2 radical 5. My 5 looked like an S. And radical 5 times radical 5 is a 5. And radical 5 times radical 5 is a 5. That is your answer. You can write this as 2/5. So 2/5 radical 5 plus, since that divides, it would be plus 1. But you can just leave it like that. I'm okay with it being left just like that. And I picked number 39. Square root of 9xy squared to the 4th. Okay. Part of this can be done. Square root of 9 is 3. So I'm going to leave that as 3. Square root of y squared, since there's twins, and it's a square root, that's just a y. So see, the 9 is done because I took the square root of 9, and the y squared is done because I took the square root of y squared. What's left in there is an x. Now, this quantity raised to the 4th means everything in there is raised to the 4th. So the 3 is raised to the 4th, the y is raised to the 4th, and the square root of x is raised to the 4th. So here's what happens. 3 raised to the 4th gives you 81. So this is 81y 4th. This we need to think about. So remember we learned a new way of writing a square root is to the 1/2, and we're raising that to a power, so we've got a power to a power. And when you have a power to a power, you multiply. 1/2 of 4 is 2, so this is x squared. And that's your answer, 81y4 x squared. They would probably put the x squared in front of the y squared just to be alphabetical, but it's all multiplying, so it doesn't really matter. But probably in the back of the book it would say 81x squared y4. Okay, that's the last one I picked. So hopefully going over those few problems helps when you're looking back at that review. If we were in school, then I would be giving you a test today over the first part of chapter 6. And I think I may have mentioned this. As soon as I figure out how I'm going to do that kind of stuff, I will be in touch and let you know. Y'all have a great day today, and then have a wonderful spring break, and you'll hear from me again the week of the 30th. All right.